Here's our nettle patch, and we're going to show you how to actually harvest some of these. So I'm going to get in here and see if I can get them without getting stung. Now nettle has these little hairs on them.
Did I see?
And they, if they touch your skin,
What?
they can stick and cause formic acid. And so formic acid is what stings. And a lot of times it doesn't bother this part of your hand, this type of your skin, but if you get it on the backside it does. It can get this part, but I'm going to show you how you can actually clean these off without even wearing gloves. Wearing gloves works pretty good because you just strip them off. But if you just keep these parts, you know, you can kind of clean these without getting stung. Just like doing that. They have a saying to be firm with the nettle. It's getting kind of small, so we're just going to break that off. Now what we want to do, you'll notice that nettle's kind of square in color. They're in shape. And so the part that we want, like we showed you before, is actually the skin that's on the outside of this. So we have to get to that. And the easiest way to do that is to crush it like this. Get it crushed, and then we'll break it open in the center. Okay, once you get them crushed, then what we're going to do then is we're going to peel these open like this. Now the part we don't want is on the inside, so we're going to break that like that. Let's start this out a little bit. Then what you're going to do is you're going to take your thumb and finger. This one isn't quite started here. You're going to take your thumb and finger, put it in there like this, and you're just going to go ahead and peel these right off there. And that's what we want right there. This one didn't quite peel. And then what you can do is turn it around and do the same thing the other direction. Right there's the fibers that we're after right there. They're very strong. And you can notice that they're a lot bigger right now than what they were when we actually dried them out. When we dried them out, you saw. You can use them this way, you know, just the way they are. You can use them as a binding, and it works. If you were to make cordage out of these right now, and then once they dried out, the first time they're going to shrink, and your cordage is going to be just all loose. But you can use these just the way they are if you had a need right away. You can even roll some of these together and make cordage in that fashion right there. And the nice thing about these is that, you know, they'll grow back. And if you're all done with it and stuff, you can discard it and it'll go ahead and biodegrade. So there's how you can do stinging nettle. Now if you're in a survival situation and you have to do a lot of them, if you don't have gloves, gloves works really nice to strip those off with. If you don't have gloves, you can also get your hands and fill them full of mud, and the mud will protect you from the sting. And, so that's the way you harvest nettles, and that's the way you get the fibers, and there's the fibers that we want right there.